Hello, my name is Kathy Valtierra Piñon. I am a librarian at the Valle Verde campus. My office is in building C206. That is my phone number. I am at 831-2172 and my email is cpiñon14@epcc.edu. This library instruction class is for your environmental science class 1401 for Professor Presa. The topic will be on environmental issues and possible solutions. Today's objectives will be to be able to access the library databases from El Paso Community College. When you're doing your research, you will be looking for journal articles. You might find magazine articles, newspaper articles, also books and ebooks on your topic, which is environmental issues and the possible solutions to those issues. You will also be able to know how to use Google Scholar so that you can find scholarly academic journal articles, and all your sources will need to be cited in APA style. There are different ways that we can help you with that, and one is on our library homepage. We have citing online resources. It includes handouts and links. Also, when you do use the EPCC databases, there is a tool that generates the citation for you. All you have to do is copy and paste, and you will have that citation generated for you. They're not 100%, very close to it, but not 100%. So you may want to make sure that it is done correctly by using the handout that we also have online, as I mentioned earlier. And then there is also a link to the Purdue OWL website. And what that does, it also helps you generate citations, and you can select the style. In this case, you will be using the APA style. And then lastly, you will learn about our library services. Times have changed and we have expanded our services so that you can have something like this, which is a video that will help you start doing your research on your own time. We also have services where you could be at home and get connected with a librarian, and I'll show you that as we go along. And you can also email us, and there's somebody that will answer that email and get in contact with you in case you need more help. When you get to our library homepage, and I will be doing a demonstration later on, you will know that you will have to get to that homepage, but scroll down and find where it says resources. Now this is very important because you could get a hold of these resources on your own time and look for books, magazines, more. We have videos, we have articles, magazines, journal, newspapers. We also have links and information on ebook subscriptions, and we have handouts and links for citation. This next part of this presentation will be on keywords and how to search. Some keywords will generate one result, and using other keywords or search terms will generate a different result. And sometimes you will do better with one word versus another. For example, the first bullet on the screen shows biodiversity and two words there, loss and crisis. If you search loss and not crisis, you might get a different result. If you search both words, again, you're going to get a different result. But that's what research is. You need to try different words to see which words generate the best results for your research purposes. Again, you'll see plastic and pollution and mess. You can include one word, both words, or a different word altogether. And then there's another bullet a little further down for climate crisis. I've also heard it called climate change. Again, you're going to be looking for keywords. They're very important when you do your research because they generate different results. But we'll get into that as we move along with the presentation. These are just highlights for you to remember when you are doing research. To locate the library homepage, the first thing you can do is go to the search bar, epcc.edu, find the library homepage by going to menu, selecting resources and services. You scroll down, you find libraries, scroll down some more, and you find resources. From here, you will be looking at the classic catalog, the online databases, and the ebook collection. We will begin with the classic catalog. And this one is for books. What you could do is use a keyword search like climate change. And if you'll notice, it has a drop-down menu for all campuses. One of the services is that we could get the book from another location, any one of the 5 libraries, so that it could be sent to you. So you hit the search key or the search bar, and these are the results, 1,827. If you'll notice and you make some changes, for example, use the word "and" in all caps, it tells the computer to combine these 2 terms. So let's say I select that one and I search again, your limit results will drop to 417. So then if we go, let's say you're interested in just going to the library at Valle Verde and not getting the book from another location, you hit search and you have 98 results. So what you do is you could look at this book, and what you do is you see the format here. I'm pointing at the book format, and then you look at the status. If it is in process, you'll sometimes see that because that book is brand new or just got ordered and is in the process of being put on the shelves for checkout. So this book would actually not be available maybe for the next week or 2. But let's say you really want to look at that book. Here's what you have. This is what it would have. It would include in red the key terms you put in: environment and climate change. And you can also look at the subject for other keywords like sustainable living, consumption, sustainability. And those are a little bit of the things you can do with your search. For this part of the presentation, it's really just highlights. We will get into that momentarily. And the reason I leave these highlights up here, or I put them up here, is so that you can remember that different databases contain different information. For example, under the controversial tab, I would select Credo reference. And the reason is that it's a very easy to use tool, but you need to keep in mind that it is a starting point, which means it's going to have a great deal of background information. It is a great starter because it gives you information on your topic from hundreds of full-text encyclopedias, dictionaries, thesaurus, gives you quotations and subject-specific titles. There's also images and audio files, and of course hundreds of videos included. The 3 bullet points here are the important things you need to remember, is that it is a starting point. It gives you background information. It's reference information. And the other thing is that there are short video tutorials that are included in this Credo reference that helps you with research. If you're stuck somewhere, there is a tutorial for that. The last bullet point here is a mind map. And what it does is it breaks down your topic and provides subtopics. Sometimes just seeing a visual will make a huge difference in how you approach your research. Next, I will show you how to get to databases. From home, you go to resources and services, scroll down, back again to libraries, scroll down some more, find your resources. We just covered classic catalog, and I am moving on to online databases. I will only be covering 3 for this demonstration. However, all of the databases have similar tools, similar functions. You just get used to what you're looking for as far as the tools and find them as they appear on the screen, and you will become familiar with them. Let us begin with online databases. I mentioned earlier in our objectives that I was going to select controversial. Each of these tabs gives you a selection of different databases. As you can see, we have a variety to select from. You will be selecting controversial because environmental issues are controversial by nature. Once you click on controversial, you can scroll down and each database will be in bold and blue. So each of these, Access World News, which would be the news bank for newspapers, Credo Reference, which is very much like Wikipedia, however, it is academic and scholarly and credible. And another one is Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints. The 2 that I will be going over today from the controversial database will be Credo Reference and Gale in Context, Opposing Viewpoints. To begin, let's start with Credo Reference. And as I mentioned earlier, it is a great database to gather background information on your topic. It is a wonderful starting point. It gives you more information about any topic, including those that you are familiar with and would like to know more information about. So you click on that and you will be asked to sign in because it is a paid service, much like Netflix is, that you have to pay the service for movies and something that does not come out on regular free TV. Same thing here. So it is a paid service. You will put your login, which is your email address, and your password. And this is what Credo Reference looks like. So this is the website, the home page. And what's interesting is there is already a section that goes with environmental sciences. Here, what you could do is click on climate change. You could click on national parks. You can click on carcinogen or any of the other topics that are up here. Once you do that, not all databases will have something like this right as with your topic right up front. So if they do not, what you could do, let's say it didn't have environmental sciences in there, what you could do is go with climate change. So you're putting your topic in. And the broader the topic is, the more chances you are to get a wide variety of information. So we could do a couple of things like I did with a keyword search. You could enter it by itself, hit return, and what it does, it is incredible. It gives you these results and the source type. So here it says all collections. What you want to do is select what you want. So here I would go with pro and con. And the reason I would do that is because it will include both sides of the issue, and it gives you the opportunity to see how you need to present your paper so that it looks like your solution has been researched and you can prove it. Here the results did go down. What I'm going to do is, again, go to pro and con. And this is all on articles. So all your articles would be on pro and con of climate change. The next thing I'd like you to see is that while it comes with a definition here and an image right here, you could click on that and it gives you the definition. Again, a lot of this is background information. If you'll notice, it comes from an encyclopedia. So let's go back. And let's see the mind map I was talking to you about. And that is just incredible because it gives you different types of subtopics that are related to climate change. So here's the greenhouse gas, global warming, weather, climate, solar variation, carbon dioxide. So what you can do with this is you can, if you click on any one of them, it changes the mind map. And now those are the subtopics that are related to global warming. So once you do that, you could click out of it by clicking on where it says collapse mind map. You just click on it again. If you want to see it again, you click on that again and it comes back up. What I like about this is it gives you different ideas that you may have not considered for your research. And this is why it is such a good place to start, because it generates those ideas for you in a visual way by creating a mind map. What you do is you scroll down, and these are all articles in this collection. They come from encyclopedias, dictionaries, and anything that is a reference material. So the first one is an encyclopedia. The second one is also an encyclopedic entry. Again, another encyclopedia. So I can click on any one of these. And there you have it. You have the background information on global warming. And what you also have are tools that all the databases have. This one will allow you to save it. However, if you do save it, it will only be accessible again to you on Credo Reference, not another database. And that's true of all the other databases. You can cite it. You can select APA, copy and paste. There's different ones, APA, Chicago, Harvard, MLA. Yours is APA, so you would select this one. Sometimes it's 100% accurate. All the information is in there, and then in this case, a little extra. So you could get rid of that part and everything else looks accurate. The other thing you can do is print. You can share it, which means you could email it and ask for full citation. You could email it to yourself. This is my email address at work. You could send it to yourself and it will include the citation. Another feature that Credo Reference has is the tutorials that they have. If you scroll all the way down, there are research quick tips and they have titles on them. So what do you do when your topic is too broad? For example, if you select climate change and you don't specify what you're looking for, it may be too broad. And if you're not really sure how to narrow it down, you could find the tutorial. Click on the tutorial. And it's only, if you'll notice, 1 minute and 2 seconds long. So even though they're very short tutorials, they will introduce you to strategies on how to refine your research topic.
Determine an appropriate scope of investigation. An initial research topic may be too broad to be the subject of an effective paper. Break down your research question into smaller ones that are more specific and manageable. For example, researching internet search engines may interest you, but this is too broad a topic to research. There are hundreds of search engines, and it would be impossible to conduct effective research on all of them at once. Try getting more specific. Maybe you're interested in the negative aspects of some search engines. This is a step in the right direction, but the topic still is too broad and doesn't answer a research question. Take it one step further. Maybe you'll decide to focus on the privacy issues surrounding Google. A research question might be, what privacy issues are Google users experiencing and how are they being affected? This question specifies the search engine you're focusing on, which negative effects you're addressing, and how online users are affected.
So once you get somewhere closer to answer in your research, what you could do is use those terms, and that'll help you narrow your results or to answer your research question. So more quick tips, and I won't go over all of them, but here is why you need many sources.
Searching for information is a process. You'll likely find your search terms or research focus changing as you go. Let's look at strategies to help you navigate toward the most relevant results. Begin with a general search phrase like women's right to vote. The direction of your exploration will evolve based on your results, interests, or assignment requirements. For example, you may need to broaden your search terms to examine the history of voting and its changes over time. Searching by keywords like women and suffrage movement is a good start, but there are other methods for discovering relevant materials. If you encounter a useful source, try searching for other works by the same author. This may lead you to relevant keywords and sources on your topic. You also might read a source's table of contents or bibliography to locate other sources the author has referenced.
The other database that you will be needing for this type of research, it's under controversial, and it's called Opposing Viewpoints. Now this one provides social issues, viewpoint articles, topic overviews, statistics, primary documents. This database is really once you've already done the background information and are more focused on what it is that you want to provide that helps you with your research and your points of view. Now, this is really great because it includes pro and con, it includes related subjects, and a topic finder. It gives it to you in a different form, which is why I put wheel on here, because when you see it in a wheel, you will see how it breaks up into different subtopics, and you can use it to find articles by clicking on the specific topic that is in that wheel. The next database I will be covering is found in the controversial tab right here. You click on that, and inside that are all your databases. I had mentioned they're bold and they are in blue. We just covered Credo reference quite extensively, and now we're going to opposing viewpoints. I click on that. This one covers social issues, and because you are covering environmental issues, this will be of great value to you. And this is what the interface looks like. You can browse by issues, scroll down, look at the different issues on here, see if you find something that maybe goes with your topic. I could already see plastic waste. I see pollution. I see, let's see, food waste. So just off the browsing section, you could see that there are topics that can be there that you could just click on. You don't have to go through the search bar. So I will click on plastic waste. Once I go to plastic waste, what it does is it's going to give me the information on your topic. For example, it tells me that there are the source type, academic journal, which you need images, you could click on that, magazines, whatever it is that you are looking for. And here's reference, but we covered Credo, so you should be really good at this point with all the reference material. And then here's related topics, you could click on that. And here it gives you conservation, environmental protection agency, fossil fuels, green city, Green New Deal, oceans, pollution, recycling, sustainability, and water pollution. So all these topics are related, and you can click on those and it gives you a new search. For now, we will stick to plastic waste. If you want to read more about it, you just click read more. And there is one article. And it gives you the main ideas right there in bullet points. So this covers it back to the 1960s. And if you're interested in how it has changed over time, you could start doing things like highlighting it. And let's go back to the document. Let's click on academic journals. Once you click on that, what it's going to do is give you only academic journals on that topic. It's going to give it to you by relevance. What you could do is you could set your filters by publication date, by subjects, by document type, which is academic journals, content level. And that wheel, what it does is, first of all, it's not a wheel, it comes in tiles. I like to see it in a wheel, and I'll show you why. So my topic was plastic pollution. And if I'm interested in a subtopic like plastic pollution, but just to see, which is where you're narrowing your topic, I could click on that. And what it does is it gives me 4 journal articles that are directly related to the plastic pollution in the Atlantic Ocean, or what happens to plastics that end up in the ocean. And that's how that works. That's what I was referring to when I said the wheel. And then here's authors and introduction. So this one concerns these authors, which you could look up later in your research to do more research about what they have done in the work plastic pollution. So we could go to C's and back to your results. All you do is click on results. It goes back to my 58 academic journals. And now I have the option to select from the journals. Now, publication date is also important because let's say you just want to know the latest information. You could filter it so that it goes from to 2022 of this month. You apply it and you say okay, and it was already at that limiter. So you still have the same 58 results, but now you are certain that each of your results will be very current. Here are some things that are interesting tools. Here are the related subjects. Here are the related articles. And here are the tools. You have your Google Drive, your cloud. You can email it to your personal account or to your school account. I recommend you do it to your school account because it is a paid service and it may not open if you use a different account, but you can try that. It may direct you to log in and maybe have an extra step or so, but you can still do that. Here you can download it onto your computer. And right down here you could see it saves it as a PDF, which you may want to do. And then other tools include the citation. And then what you do is you click on the citation. There's MLA. You, however, are looking for APA. And here's your citation. You can copy and paste it. So once you do that, you click out of it. And again, you see your tools. You have Noodle Tools, EasyBib, ReferenceWorks, Google Drive, OneDrive, and you can download it. Now, if you're not using any of these tools, don't worry about it. Just use the tools you're familiar with. So it's that easy. Again, you can download, print, get the link, or highlight it. So earlier I highlighted 1960, so there it is highlighted. We'll go back to our results. And there they are. So if you do an advanced search, what you could do is skip the simple search, which is up here, scroll down, and then say you still want to focus on plastic waste. But now you've determined that you want to know more about the plastic waste as it pertains to the oceans. That asterisk tells it to give me any term that starts with the word ocean, like oceanic, oceana, oceans, oceanside. So that's something that you may want to keep in mind when you want to expand on that search using a particular word. It's called a truncator, and it is the asterisk sign. Once you determine those are your searches, you hit search. And if you'll notice, because I was more specific than I was earlier, my academic journals have narrowed down to 12. I still have my publication date, and I still have it set at 2019. You click on academic journals, and you do the exact same thing we did earlier. You click on the article itself, and I could do the topic finder like I did earlier. Again, I would select wheel, but if you don't like the wheel and you're comfortable with the tiles, it gives them to you here as it would in the wheel. Plastic pollution, authors, introduction, health, research, particles, understanding, and plastic scrap. It's going to do the same thing in the wheel as it did in the tile form. Now I want to know more about a certain subtopic, and there you go. All the articles in the wheel will now come up on the right-hand side as articles that are specific to what you asked in the wheel. And that's how that works. I will just recap on a couple of things and introduce you to a few more things. So here's your search bar for a quick search. Here's your search bar for advanced search. You would have to click on it like that, and it would give you the option to enter more than one term as we did earlier. And earlier, I used the term and, but you could use the term or. Now, if you use one term versus another, it will generate different results. For example, if I add water pollution, or ocean with my asterisk, and I hit search, it will give me 33 academic journals. Now, if I go back to my search and put water pollution, and ocean, this time I put with my asterisk, which is the truncator I told you about, it'll give me 7,669 results because I included one or the other. So that's the difference between using one Boolean operator versus another one. You will need to go ahead and do your searches so you could see the difference. And then one last thing is when you have opposing viewpoints and pretty much any other database, it will frequently give you browse issues. When I was browsing these issues, I noticed that the national debate topic is on water resources, water pollution, and Western U.S. droughts and wildfires. So what you can do if it's already up there is simply click on it and it takes you to the results page, and that will give you the journal articles you're looking for. And there you go. If you want featured viewpoints, which would be pro and con, you would look at the different sides of the issue with the different viewpoints. Like here, the Biden administration should invest in clean water for everyone. So that's a viewpoint. And here's another viewpoint. Water pollution will increase after the Trump administration rollbacks. And then the Clean Water Act includes groundwater discharges, Supreme Court decides. The last database that we will be looking at will be under database collections, and it is called Academic Search Complete. Now this one is a great source because it really does compile. It's the largest volume or the world's most valuable and comprehensive scholarly, multidisciplinary, and full-text database. And it really is exactly the way it sounds. It just has so much information that you will be able to, even if you were to just use this one database, be able to come back with all the sources you need. The things to remember on this one is you will need to use what are called limiters. One is full text, the other one is publication date range. If you want your information to be current, then you want to be using maybe something that is between maybe the oldest is 2017. So that gives you the option to go with something newer like 2022 versus 2005. But again, it depends on your topic and what you're trying to compare. But that database will allow you to do the publication date range. And then the other thing is you are looking for journal articles, and it gives you different sources, and I will show you how to look for just journal articles. The next database we will be looking at is called Academic Search Complete. We go to libraries. Again, we scroll down. We look for online databases. We look at the tabs. I'm going to go to General Databases and then select Academic Search Complete. And then really quickly, again in blue, are all the databases that are under General Databases. And here's Credo again. We're doing Academic Search Complete. In Academic Search Complete, what you do is you put your key terms in. Your date limiter. I like to start with January, and I don't like to go back more than 5 years unless that is what your research calls for. So in this case, I'm going to go with January 2017, and then I'm going to put February 2022. So those are my limiters. Here's my date limiter, which is a publication date, full text. It will give me the Boolean operators, which is the words and, or, and not. And that should do it. So what I'm going to do now is put in my terms, which is, we'll try water pollution. And then we could try ocean. It gives me 702 results. What I could do is remove the asterisk, and it gives me less. So once you have those results, what you do is you scroll down, and let's say all you're interested in is academic journals. It updates it for you. And now what you have is 496 results. Let's say we could put the word effects, and it should bring it down. So now what you're doing is you are asking the database to give you water pollution and the effects it has on the ocean. And it's 124 results. You've asked also to make sure the publication is in full text. The range date is 2017 to 2022. And let's click on academic journals, and it brings down my result to 106. Every time you change something, the results change. So now what you do is you scroll down and look for the PDF or the HTML. If you don't have Acrobat, I do, so I will open it in a PDF full text. And now your tools will be on the right-hand side. Here's your Google Drive, your printing, your emailing. You could add to a folder, and again, if you add it to the folder, it only adds it to this database. You can cite it. You select the citation style you want or that is required of you. You can copy and paste it. That, you copy it, and then you paste it onto a Word document. And here, that's all you have to do with that. So let's click out of here, go back to our article itself, and there's the entire article, and it tells you it is 22 pages long. The good thing is it tells you what's inside or the contents. So the contents here would include a new prediction. Let's see, seawater, effects of seawater. I'll just click on one so you could see what it includes. And this one is from the same article, but specifically on that content. And it is page 1 of 23, and here it is. And again, your citation tool, scroll down, you copy and paste. So let's do a new search. We go back to our result list, and it takes me back. Let's say you're not interested in something that is that extensive, like 23 pages. You can go down, or maybe it's not a topic you're interested in. What you can do is look at the title, and it gives you an indication of what it is. And recovery of oil spill and toxic heavy metal from maritime pollution by a new absorbent material. And here's subjects that we hadn't looked at before, and that is from oil spills. So let's say that gives you a new idea. Here's another one. It is the challenge of plastic waste and litter in oceans, some policy reflections. So let's say you want to know what regulations are out there. You could use this one, and again, your tools are there. You cite it using APA. There it is. And you go back to your results list. So let's say you want to change it and add one more search bar. You could put oil spills. And there you go. It's going to change my results to 15 because I have narrowed it down even more. Oil spills, water pollution. So let's say I get rid of water pollution and I leave ocean, oil spills, and effects. It should go up. And here are my results, 62. So you scroll down, you do still have your limiters. 5 years. And sometimes you have to go back and reset them. In this case, I am going to reset it to academic journals, and my results will be based on academic journals, and it lowers it to 57. And you again are looking for a full text article. All you do is find it, open it, and decide what you are going to do, whether it's something you're interested in. And if you are, what you can do is cite the article, copy and paste. Close that up. Here's interesting. Number 5 says a review on oil spill cleanup. And the solution here would be they're using biosorbent materials with special emphasis on utilization of canaf core fibers. I'm not familiar with that term, and maybe I am interested in that. It looks like it might be plant fibers. So I pick it up, and it also has 9 images. Before I continue, it tells me it has 9 images. If you want to include it in your report, that might be something you want to do. But if it has 9 images, that means it may be a very large article. And there you go. And there's your article. And here are the contents inside it. Here it says sustainable design. So those are the kind of things you really need to go back and do some research on. Again, your citation tool is right there. Your APA style, you copy and paste onto a Word document, close that, and there it is. And again, if you look at the date, and here's the date, we had our limiter set to between 2017 and 2022, and it falls within that date range. That is why a limiter is very important. Between the years 2017 and 2022, I wanted full text, and that's what you get. So I'm going to go back to libraries, go back on online databases, select general databases, and that was my academic search complete. I'll do a quick one with academic one file. The interface on each of the databases will be a little bit different. Here is your simple key term search, and here is your advanced search. And again, we go with plastic pollution. And then we could go with effects. And here the reason it is in quotations is so that you are telling the computer not to separate the word plastic from solution, to keep them together. Here's my return. And again, you have to, it's a different interface, but it still gives you the academic journal, the type, magazine, or news. Here I'm interested, I'll just click on the first one. And there it is. Now, for all of you who have used the internet, which is probably every one of us, you are familiar with Google searches. Well, there is one particular site that you want to go through under Google, and it's called Google Scholar. And it's to find scholarly academic resources. It crosses a wide variety of disciplines. You have a great deal of sources. It does include books, articles, and abstracts, which you really want to stay away from, because the abstract will only give you a synopsis of the article, but it won't give you the article in full. And that too I will show you. Now, the things to remember on this one is how you use your keywords. They are computed in a rank order by relevancy, so the results will vary depending on the keywords you use. And then the other things to remember are the word cited by. The number there will give you an idea of how many times that particular article is connected, or there's a connection between that document and other documents that are linked to references to that article. And then the file type, whether it's a news article, a book, a journal article, and the format it gives you. Is it in PDF? Is it even available for you to find? We'll go over that. And then related articles. Those are articles that are not linked or cited in that particular journal, but they are related to the topic. And then cite colon is you are specifying which site you want Google Scholar to only select. Let's say you want cite colon stanford.edu. You can tell Google Scholar to do that, and every one of your sources will be from Stanford University. Now we will be covering Google Scholar. Google Scholar is different in the sense that it is academic and it is scholarly, and this is how you get to it. It is not a database. However, it does have some similar features from the database, and you can check for yourself how credible it is based on the author and the times it was cited and where it was published. And we type in quickly, and now I type in my search, google.scholar.com. And here it gives you Google Scholar. So we click on Google Scholar, and there you are. And here is articles, and here's case law. We are looking for articles. It's already defaulted to articles, so we just search there. And I had already put in some terms. So I'll go ahead and select plastic waste and solutions. And a couple things to see is the custom range, which is the date range. You can search from a certain time to a certain time. Let's say I want 2017 to 2022. That'll give me that. These are your filters that are very similar to the database. So here I'm telling it also to include citations. That's defaulted already, so it should already come up with that. And it gives you the results right here. 629,000 results, which is much more than we saw on databases. Before you click on one, what you'd like to do is, if it was cited by, the higher the number, that means it was cited in other articles in relation to this article. You also want to look at the format type. HTML, you can look at that. A PDF, you can look at that. But let's try one. Here are the versions. So this one is an article, and it's in HTML format, and it came from Science Direct. And this one is a PDF format, came from foraflana.org, and then ResearchGate, so you could get an indication of all the versions where it has been published. And you click on one. I'm going to click on the one that has been cited by more, which is this one. And here you have it. Here's your article. If you'll notice here, it'll tell you about purchasing. Now, if you'll remember, I told you that the databases were paid service. This you can get around. You don't have to purchase these. What you could do is click on the journal you asked for, and then you could save it. So here, the related articles, but they use to compile the information for this article. Let's see if we could cite it here. That's the same article. And yes, here it is, APA. So it's not really that hard. And then I go back. And what you could do, so we went over the file type and the cited by number. And then related topics is pretty easy. You just click on that, and it gives you other articles that are related to that topic. Here is where it's from. So we go back again. we select the versions, and here it doesn't give me where I can go back to, so I can't open those up. So it's just a little bit more work, but not really something that you can't manage. Here's a good one: solutions to the plastic waste problem on land and in the oceans. And it's from researchgate.net. It has been cited in 10 other references. Let's look at all the versions. And here we have a PDF, which was already up there, but let's see if there's any more. No, it's the only one you can open. See, there it is. And it gives you a table of contents, which is really very nice. So it should give you solutions. It even gives you a graph about the plastics, mixed plastics, the different types of plastics. This article is actually very nice. So don't discount Google Scholar, because sometimes you can come up with something that's really pretty good, like this one. Or here, this is the one I was looking at, and I can get my citation. There's my APA. It looks accurate, so I just copy and paste it. If I want related articles, I go there. If I want to save it, I go there. And that way, the reason it saved it is because I have a Google account. So what you could do is you could go to your library, and there's a star, and here it is saved. It's similar to the database where you save it in a folder. This is Google Scholar, but it still has the same format. And then I was also talking about Cite colon, and what I could do is, let's try Google Scholar again, plastic waste and solutions. And there are my results. And I could go with cite.gov. So my results changed because I wanted all the sites from the government. And here you have it. Here's your type. Your file type is in HTML. It is cited by 62. Related articles are there. Here's your citation tool. APA, copy and paste. Click out of it. And what we can do is keep going down. And let's say I want to change the site to just educational resources. It changes it again. And here is from nyu.edu. All edu sites will come up here, and then your file type, your article itself, cited by, and related articles. And it seems to have quite a bit of information. You do need to go through it and discover which ones will work for you. And again, here's my library. I saved that. Plastic waste. And let's try oceans. And cite.edu. The number is 41,600. Let's see what it gives me. It lowers it to 16,000. If we get rid of the cite.edu, it'll change it once more to a higher number. It includes everything. But you decide what site you want. You put cite, colon, if it's an educational website, edu. If it's an organization, you put org. If it is a specific site like Science Direct, sciencedirect.com, you click on that and all the results will be from sciencedirect.com. And that's how that works. We have come to the end of our presentation. I would really appreciate it if you could do a student evaluation for me, and I have a QR code that you can scan on your phone and answer those questions. Thank you very much.
Well, as you know, this presentation is asynchronous, which means you have access to this video and you can watch it at your own time. The drawback is that I don't know what questions you may still have regarding this presentation. What I do know is that you can continue to get help. Our services, like I said, are extended. And the first thing I covered was that we have online services, which are the databases that you have access to as long as you have internet. The other thing is that we do have a virtual reference desk. The hours of operation for spring 2022 are Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, and Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 3 p.m. For this, all you have to do is click on Get Connected from our library homepage. You may need assistance outside of that schedule. So what you could do is either set up an appointment with one of the librarians, and I gave you my email address. But in either case, if you go to askalib@epcc.edu, you can email us your question. It will be answered promptly. And what I'd like you to do is use your phone to scan the QR code here and go ahead and evaluate me. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us, and good luck with your research.